I don't think that Barack Obama was at fault for the most amount of black people shot by cops in 2015. Now, I do think that Barack Obama was certainly at fault because he was the one who created the wedge between black and white because he was outgoing. When he came in as a president, it had to be the first black president. He had to ride in on this wave of it's time. And then when he was going out, he had to say, hey, by the way, just because we had a black president like me just because we had a black man at the highest office in the land in this country doesn't mean that there isn't a ceiling here in this country, most notably the highest office in the land. And by the way, everyone is racist and everyone is sexist. May I present to you your next candidate, Hillary Clinton? So I do think that Barack Obama was responsible for being a wedge that divided this country along racial lines. Because look, you're talking about a guy who was coached under Bell, I believe, at Harvard. Was it Derek Bell, the guy's first name, a black liberation theologist, a guy who believed in Marxist theory? Barack Obama, if you look at when he was doing cocaine with Bill Ayers, convicted domestic terrorist, they were writing communist poetry. This is a man who believed in that. He was steeped in it for his entire life, and so it is identity politics. I think he's responsible for that. Do I think that we can lay the blame at the feet of Obama for more black people, even though it's a fact, shot by police in the year 2015 than any other year? No, I don't. And we have to be fair. Of course, you can't blame Donald Trump for that either.
Right.
Now that's different because there are state police departments, right? You have municipal police. These are things that they're different. If you look at how police handle crimes, it's different from department to department, from county to county. What is similar across the board, something that can be directly affected by the President of the United States, is the overall black unemployment rate at record low, the overall black labor participation rate, which was high, the overall black wage growth, which was consistently across the board. It wasn't just happening in Dallas as opposed to Seattle. It was happening across the country. That is something that would fall under the purview of the president and something that he could directly affect. He can't decide what the Kenosha PD does with their local municipal tax dollars in dealing with offenders.
Well, and not only that, but you have to look at the question of the reason why these statistics, taking them from every municipality, sheriff's department, police department across the entire country, regardless of whether run by Republicans or Democrats or the governors or the mayors, but also the police chiefs. Remember how many minority police chiefs have been run out during the last 60 days as being complicit in the violence and death of African Americans or other people of color, when in reality, look at how many of those different folks were in charge at the local level. The ones who actually have power over those policies actually happen to be either Democrats, supportive of Democrats, or people of color. It actually erases the narrative that this is a race question and more about a training question and or the reality, which is when you separate out the armed attackers or the situations where it's unclear and the person's acting in a dangerous manner, then you get really down to the question of, is there just poor training? And again, this is not to say that none of those deaths may not have been possibly racially motivated.
Of course.
But where is the evidence that it was?
But we haven't seen a video of it yet.
Right.
The closest thing that we have seen to an attempted public lynching was a man firing at two police officers at point-blank range through a window. It's not even close. Right. It's not even comparable to Blake, to, what was his name, Deontay, to Prude, to Floyd. Even if you take the one where everyone agreed with Floyd that was horrible training, the police officer shouldn't have done it, it still is nowhere near the point-blank attempted execution. Well, the only thing that you would say that would be close would be obviously the Portland shooter who said we got a Trumper here, but that's not really law enforcement.
Right.
Find me anything. Let's compare that. Portland. Okay. Portland, the shooter, the guy who was later taken out by police officers. We got a Trumper here. Bang, bang, bang. Killed the guy. We now know from security footage that he was stalking them. The closest thing that we have, which got far more coverage in national media, Kenosha, Kyle Rittenhouse. That guy was being chased by other people with guns saying, get him, and he fired a warning shot, and he was running away. So even if you compare those two, it's clearly, one is an execution, and one is, at the absolute worst, a scenario where it shouldn't have been there. Now let's compare, let's look at Floyd, Blake, I'll take whoever you got. Floyd, Blake, Brown, Prude, any of them. Take any of those videos and compare it to the Los Angeles deputies who were fired at point-blank range. One is very clearly an execution. Entirely, the only thing that guy could have possibly known about them is that they were in a sheriff's car.
That's it.
Yep.
But you know what the cops knew about Jacob Blake? Sex offender, rapist,
his whole
active
record.
warrant, violating the restraining order against the woman that he previously sexually assaulted. What do we know about Floyd? The officers were really nice to him and compassionate. If you watch that full tape, saying, hey, listen, just get in the back of the car. I'll stay with you. I'll roll down the window. I'll turn on the air. They found out he was on PCP. Prude, the guy was also on PCP. They put on a spit hood, which when we go to the Mug Club exclusive, we're actually going to play a game to see how far I can spit through this hood. All of them. There was a lot more information that both parties knew, which made it a more volatile situation. With the Los Angeles deputies, the only thing that guy knew is cops, bang, 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 kill them. Find me one instance, send me a video of something as clear cut of black guy, boom, 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 execution. I haven't seen it. I don't believe it exists, but if you send it to me and it's just as clear, I will shout it from the rooftops and condemn it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.